Good morning, I'm Steven and welcome back to Los Angeles. We're here for the first sailing of Quantum of the Seas. Let's get aboard this beautiful ship. If you've been planning a trip aboard Quantum, you might have been having a problem trying to find videos of her in Los Angeles, and that's because today is the first sailing, her first ever sailing here in Los Angeles. But you're probably also a little confused because you might have heard some information about us celebrating a brand new sailing here not too long ago with Ovation. That ship has left and now Quantum is replacing it, so a little confusing, but hey, it's okay. We're back in Los Angeles, celebrating a new arrival. This ship is our ship. That's all you need to know as we get aboard. With us being back in Los Angeles, we're just gonna go through the traditional boarding process here in the port. Gotta check our luggage in, get checked in, and get aboard. Should be a quick process. And already today at 11, they're already accepting all times. So even though you have to make an arrival appointment with online check-in, you can just arrive and go for it. After a quick 10-minute security and check-in process, we're already here, ready to step aboard. Ship's still really tall. First steps aboard of Quantum of the Seas, and we jump aboard. And like that, we're immediately in the Royal Esplanade. We're aboard our home for the next 4 beautiful nights. And the first thing, as always, we gotta find our muster station and get checked in. That's basically the safety assembly thing. So in case of emergency, that's where you'd go for an emergency. There's a whole video and thing that you have to watch on the app. And then the final process of it is you go to the actual muster station to check in. That's the whole process. And today it's not just me aboard the cruise, because we have Dad, we have Mom, we have Alyssa and Grandma as well driving the scooter. Look at Grandma. We haven't seen her in a little bit, but yeah, the whole family is here. After all the check-in and all that stuff, we came up to the Solarium Bistro, because the first thing you do when you get on board a cruise is you're gonna wanna eat. And we ran into the executive chef, which I didn't record that interaction, I should have. But I asked him, well, what's your recommendation? And he said the Solarium Bistro because it's a little bit quieter, not as many people. And he definitely recommended the meat from the carving station. Also, I sound like I'm really echoing in this area. This is really interesting. But he said there's 2 options, here or the Windjammer, which is the main buffet, and maybe we'll cover it later. Usually it's really busy on the first day. This place is the lesser known one, and I'm assuming it'll probably always be like that. I know we're pretty early on, it's 11:30, but should be okay, I think. And since we're here, we had to get a quick bite. We're going a little light on this cruise, not trying to overdo it. Gotta try the meat as the chef says. We'll see how that is. There's also a fish that looked pretty good. They have a decent variety, definitely a lot smaller of a variety compared over to the Windjammer buffet. Honestly, you can't complain because you're trading the quiet, calmness, relaxed atmosphere versus the hectic, everybody's there to have everything. So you're doing the pros and cons kind of thing, but top round roast. Not too bad. Not a bad first bite. But one thing I never have on my plate is a fruit, or vegetables for that matter, so maybe we're really changing things up on this cruise. So for a first meal, the Solarium Bistro was pretty good. But since we're up here in the front of the ship, we might as well go step over into the Solarium as a whole, the adults only pool deck area. It's all fully enclosed. It's nice and quiet. It's got some really cool pools and jacuzzis. Plenty of chairs to relax, a bar. Love this place. This place is fully enclosed in glass. Beautiful setup, really great for the cold winter nights or days. Actually, it does get really cold here in the Pacific. Quantum is going to be here for the winter season. That's what we're kicking off right now. So in summer it does get really hot in here, but right now I think we're about 74 degrees. It's really nice. It's perfect in here. Before it came here, it was actually sailing over in the Chinese market and then also Alaska. That's why the Solarium was created, is because they wanted this to go into the colder climates, so during the colder seasons, you can still enjoy a pool deck. Really love that about that. That's why I love this ship. And I think it's a really great thing that they're bringing it from Alaska and bringing it here to Los Angeles, because we don't have the warmest weather all year long. At least not sun tanning weather, I would say. But also, speaking of the Chinese market, that's why you still see some of the Chinese characters written throughout the ship. I figured they weren't going to change it, but it still kind of does shock me that they didn't change it, so it's kind of side tangent, I don't know. Anyway, Solarium, thumbs up. One thing though is that since this is the first sailing, the cabins are actually already open. Normally they open up at 1 o'clock. We're actually gonna go to our cabins. Normally we would explore until 1 o'clock, then the cabins open. But since there was no one that got off the ship this morning, we're gonna just go straight over and get into our cabin. Might as well, right? Actually, I say that, they did, you actually can't. I can see it. There's still some Chinese lettering where it used to be, but they did actually eliminate it off this sign, so they kind of did the process. So we're heading on down via the stairs. Normally we climb up the stairs. This is a much easier trip. Yeah, maybe we should start that tradition. Instead of climbing up all the way from the bottom to the top, we should just climb down. And welcome to deck 7. Welcome to 7568. Welcome to our home, a balcony cabin 7568, where we'll be staying for the next 4 beautiful nights. It's nothing like coming home, but let's give a 60-second room tour. Starting now, as always, like to start here up in the front. All of your safety information, a thermostat. This room does need a power card, whatever, one provided. Full-length mirror. Hello, me. Off the opposite side, we have our bathroom, sink, toilet, tons of space over here. Here's a shower, soap tray, included wash. Don't recommend it. Hair and body combo, adjustable in height. By the way, average height male. I do have a good amount of space. Tall people, be warned, not that much space in the bathroom, by the way. Out here, we have tons of storage space. Look at that, tons of hangers. Over here is our desk, 120, 120, 2 USBs, 220, not that many power solutions. Hello, me, a nice, beautiful vanity. Over here, we have our cooler. Keep things cool, not a fridge. Stuff over here, drawers over here, couch over there, more space over here, closet, safe, not that big, a bed, queen size right now, can be split into a twin, no power solution on this side, TV right over here, a power solution over here, one power solution over here, and then a balcony with an obstructed view with a lifeboat blocking our way. And time. I think I went over just a few seconds. Whew. If you are a regular to this channel, you know we like to do 60-second room tours because one, it's fun. It makes it a challenge for me to talk really fast. But if you really want things slowed down and explained very thoroughly, check out the room tour link down below or in the top right corner. Whew. It's always a lot for me, always a lot, but it's a really fun thing. We don't want to spend too much time on the cabin because there's so much ship to explore. Alrighty, bit of a time skip, but we actually did get our luggage and now we're unpacked and everything. I got settled in, put everything in. I like, on even shorter cruises, my thing is I like to unpack, get settled in so that way I feel like I'm really here. Living out of a suitcase isn't my favorite thing. I have done that and I can do it, but I would much rather take the extra time to just get everything unpacked and really get settled in. Even though it's a short cruise, I really feel like it makes the entire voyage a lot better. Then the answer to the question is then you have to repack everything up at the end of it. I would say just as you wear things and as you are done with them, just continue to pack them as you go. Then the last day isn't as much of a headache. That's what I do. Let me know what you do. Either way, I guess it's time to actually go out and explore this beautiful ship that we're on. And speaking of that Chinese character, our days are a little different. The elevators with the days, that's a normal thing, but having the Chinese characters, that's weird, at least to me. So we've come back down to deck 5, near where we first walked in, but instead we're heading all the way to the back of the ship. It's like I'm building something. Maybe there might be something at the end of the tunnel. Metaphorically. But as we pass by, we see Jamie's Italian restaurant, which is the Italian specialty, does cost extra. We're not going there. There's a store over here. Next Cruise is back here. Vintages. Still maybe not getting what might be back here. That's so exciting that we want to walk this way. And if we keep walking, we'll see the art gallery. Park West. Still not what we're looking for. But at the end of the tunnel, we find the light. The 270, the huge floor-to-ceiling glass windowed lounge at the back of the ship. One of my favorite places to hang out, but it's a multi-purpose venue. It's not just a place to chill and sit, but later on in the evening we'll come back. There is a show that happens in here. It actually acts as a theater. It's a pretty cool thing. We'll get to it. And then also Cafe 270, one of my favorite restaurants, mainly for the roast beef sandwich, and they do have other sandwiches as well, and it's a great salad place too. It's a good restaurant. Highly recommend going there. it was really hard to not get anything. Yeah, we all got one item each, just a few bites of stuff, not too crazy, because we have dinner coming up in a few hours. And, you know, that's how that goes. So, I don't know, free food, kind of hard to say no to. But see, the secret that we do is I like the sandwich a lot, but sometimes we'll just come here and we'll just get the meat and bury it in the au jus. That's Dad's favorite thing to do.
It's the best.
But we're trying something new, turkey.
Yeah, and for the first time, we actually got a sandwich that isn't the roast beef sandwich.
Every time we come here, it's only the roast beef.
I know we technically already ate, but cheers. Another first bite.
Eating again, Grandma? Oh boy, you're not gonna eat dinner.
And cheers for trying something new. Turkey Club.
Really good.
Flavor is really good. They do toast it, but it does make the bread a little chewy. This is a place we need to start going to more and trying other things than just the roast beef. That's more of a me problem though.
Emergency
Music
And that always signifies the second part of the safety process, and that is hearing the alarm. It's 3:13, that means we're done, we're ready to set sail real soon. So I guess we should start exploring up on top, because we haven't been up there yet, not really. Alrighty, after a little bit of a snack, we've come up to the top deck. Made it up to the sky deck, deck 15. The music is playing. People are out laying about, chilling, having a good time. Some people are swimming already, which is pretty cool. Yo, is that a wave pool? Dang, these kiddos are lucky. No water park, but that's kind of cool. We've teleported from the midship where the pool was to all the way to the back of the ship because I wanted to take a look at something. Because back here we can find the iFly, which is the skydiving simulator. We've done that a few times on other ships. And then the Flow Rider, the surf simulator, and we've done that a few times on other ships as well. If you haven't picked up already, this ship kind of looks very similar to Ovation of the Seas. To be quite fair, you really could just watch Ovation of the Seas and get a really good idea of what this ship is like. The real only differences are going to be very subtle, and it's going to be the venues, some of the restaurants, then the shows are also completely different. But for the gist of things, the layout, the atmosphere, the flow of the ship, everything is pretty much the same. So it kind of is, I feel like, we had this really big excitement for Ovation to come into town, and it was a super big thing. It was basically the summer of Ovation. That's pretty much what it was. They hyped it up, and it was great. It was actually really awesome that it came. But then Ovation's gone now, and now Quantum is here, and the excitement isn't, it's still there because we still have a Quantum class ship, but we didn't get a new ship. We got an older ship, so it's almost like a downgrade, or is it? But it's pretty much the same ship. Though we did just get the bad news. iFly is actually not working on this sailing because they're doing maintenance. However, if you're coming aboard and you want to do iFly, you can do it for free. Book it as soon as you get aboard. It's free in the port days. It costs on the sea days. So you could do it pretty much the day you board. You just have to book it right away. But unfortunately, iFly is not available on the sailing due to maintenance, which is what it is. The North Star we saw did have reservations for today. We should have done it. I completely forgot about it. I don't know what I was thinking. But the day before a port day, you reserve the North Star, and that's the gondola thing that we saw in the middle. That thing that you're looking at right now, that's what that is. Yeah, North Star. We hopefully will get that. We'll get that in Ensenada, but we may or may not. It just depends on how things go. The reservation system, you never guaranteed anything. You could pay to guarantee a spot on a sea day, but then it becomes a little tricky at that point because I don't really want to pay $50 for that experience. Maybe if we were in a really scenic, beautiful area like Alaska, I definitely would pay, but I don't know if I would do it here. Does that make sense? But too bad about iFly. But I guess you could make it up by doing rock climbing. That's always fun. And here we're stepping into one of the weirdest things that you can find on a cruise, and that is bumper cars. Welcome to the Seaplex. Now, I'm not actually gonna ride one for real. There's just some out here that you can sit on. I did really quickly want to talk about the Seaplex. This place is an amazing indoor complex. Multiple different sports activities. 1 hour basketball, the next hour bumper cars, the next hour pickleball. There's always something going on. You gotta check the schedule for that, but bumper cars, it's free. You don't need a reservation, unlike the other few things. You don't have to pay for it. You just show up, hop in line, and you could go for free. And the line right now is not bad, but also started at 2:30, and it's about almost 4. So don't know if that has anything to do with it. I wasn't here right away. We'll be back here later tonight, but This place is really cool. There's so much to the Seaplex. It's one of the best parts here on the ship. Back out in the madness. We're back here on the pool deck. It's sail away time. Always a fun time to party and get going. I don't know what I was gonna say. Sail away time. It's time to start the party is what that is. Just finished up with the sail away party. That was a lot of fun dancing. Got my sister to go out and dance with me. Not much of a dancer, but you know, those line dances are pretty straightforward, I think. I mean, you saw me. I was messing it up every step of the way. But yeah, it's not about how good you dance. It's about how much fun you have. And I think that was a lot of fun. But we came down because, well, it was way too loud up there. And we didn't realize, down in the quietness, that we had been leaving and sailing away from Los Angeles. Let's take a look. There are people outside, so I don't want to be rude and just vlog and be loud and obnoxious right next to people. They're enjoying the sail away, so I'm not going to do it. But when we're out to sea, we've actually left Los Angeles. I didn't even notice that we were leaving until pretty much we were gone. I looked out and then suddenly ocean, like that. Boom. We've already passed the break. That's crazy. It's already 4:40. This voyage is already underway. Every time we leave a port, we have to do ceremony. Well, Los Angeles, we'll see ya real soon. But yeah, anyways, look, I will say walking around this ship, even though it is actually an older ship than Ovation, I'm going to compare. I'm sorry. It's just because we had one ship, then you took it away and gave us another ship. At least to me, it makes sense to be thinking about what we had. Did we step up or did we step down? And so that's kind of what I'm thinking about in the back of my head. I do apologize if that's what the video is about, because really we should be talking about what the experience is like without any other preconceived notions. But I will say I am thinking about it. And I did want to say, at the very least, not a negative thing, that actually Quantum does hold up very well against Ovation. I couldn't tell. I think there's like a 4-year difference or something like that, maybe even 5. Maybe less, maybe it's 3. Honestly, it holds up really well. This ship does not feel that much older. Even though it is. Thumbs up to the crew on Quantum for keeping the ship very well maintained. But I mean, like, every ship, no matter what, if you do, you're going to find some dust on top. But it's not too bad. Not too bad at all. Oh my gosh, am I just so tired from doing the sail away dance party. I don't do it all the time, but it's something that I try to add a little bit more now that we cruise a little bit more often. I'm trying to participate. I'm not trying to be an observer as much. I'm trying to be more of a participant. So that is what is changing. Hopefully you see it on the vlogs, because I'm trying. I really am. But, you know, watching is totally fine too. I mean, there's nothing wrong whether you experience it yourself or whether you experience it in front of you. I think there's a beauty in both. It just really depends on the type of person you are. But since you're living through my adventures, I'm trying to just push myself a little bit more to give you guys just that extra bit that I wouldn't normally do in my regular comfort zone. But the more I do it, the more fun and less scary it is. On a party, the first time I'd ever cruised, I definitely would have never done it. In fact, I didn't do it. I would always stay and watch. I never got on the dance floor. This whole adventure stuff has been definitely pushing myself in I think, a positive direction. But enough about me. Now it is time to head down for dinner. I know we've just been eating all day, but we have traditional dining, which means we have to eat dinner at 5 p.m. There's 2 types of dining options, 5 p.m. There's traditional, which you have to do a set dining time every day, same table, 5 p.m. or I think 8 p.m. And then there is my time, which you pick any time, different table every day. And so that's what we're gonna go do now. Welcome down to deck 3 for the main dining room. It's a little hectic down here, but we'll get there eventually. And of course, always fashionably late.
Yes, fashionably late.
Looks like we got a nice little corner to ourselves, and we have a window view. So one little confusing thing about this place is that there's 4 different restaurant names: Chic, Silk, American Icon, and Grand. All the same restaurant, it's just 4 different places. They call the same thing. They have the same menu, so it's just a different place to sit. That's really all that is. So if you have an assigned time, it'll tell you on your room key what time and what table And that's kind of the whole process we ran into when we came in. It was definitely a mess, and they weren't helping that much, but it's okay. But yes, this menu though, for the main dining room, changes every single night. So tonight's welcome aboard, tomorrow's something different, the night after that is Mexican, the night after that is Italian, so on and so forth, or whatever cruise it might be. So all the restaurants share the same menu every night. So that, but it changes every night, so cool. Makes sense? You can check all that stuff on the app too ahead of time. So in case if you're going into dinner and you're like, maybe I don't want to go, is it worth it? You can check the menu. So while we're looking at the menu, might as well take a look. It's the welcome aboard menu. We've seen this menu before. We love this menu because it has the prime rib. And yeah, you can take a look, pause it if you'd like, but here we go. You already know what I'm getting. What are you getting? All right, so I actually didn't order anything what I said I was going to order. I went completely different. I got the stuffed portobello mushroom. It's one of the vegan items. I don't know why I decided to go for it. It seemed interesting. I normally get the same thing every time, but because we're doing something different, we're going to try it out on camera. It's kind of falling apart, but we're going to work with it. Honestly, it's not too bad. It is vegan, so there's no cream or meat or anything. It's all just vegetables pretty much. It's not bad. It's not a bad option. It's actually a main entree. I got it kind of as an appetizer just because it kind of seemed a little bit smaller, and it's kind of right. I don't think it's that filling. Then for a complete change up of things, we decided to go with the chicken saj, which is an Indian dish. They usually always have one on the menu. Generally it's vegetarian, but this one is clearly not because it's chicken. But I have no idea what I ordered. I really don't, but I just wanted to try it. We're going to see. It's got good flavor. And then it has roti to eat with, which I can't. I'm wondering. I'm holding the camera. I can't do this. But yeah, just take my word for it. That's what we also have too. And we finished up with dinner. Decided to come out here. The other side is a smoking section. It does actually have a beautiful view because the sunset is on that side of the ship. But I don't prefer smoking, so we're on the less beautiful side. I mean the ocean. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah, dinner. We finished dinner, and it was actually a really good night. Tried some different things. Was fun, and they played some music, and there was some dancing. I think you can tell what song it was without actually hearing the song, but that was, yeah, really cool. Overall, first night dinner, fantastic. By the way, the prime rib, I didn't have it, but I got to try a bite of my mom's. It was actually one of the most tender prime ribs I've ever had, so I don't know what they're doing with this ship, but they got it down. They have it down. So I guess the night is still young, so we're gonna go ahead and explore the promenade. Came over to the Royal Caribbean shop on the promenade, and guess what they have? Only $79.95. But we're not gonna get a ship model because we've already been on the ship and we already have one, so we're already done. We're already ahead of the game. And it saves me $79. Oh my gosh. They're getting more expensive by the day, I feel like. We had to come to the top of the Royal Esplanade on deck 5 to get a good vantage view because it's chaos down there. They're lining up for a costume parade. Now it is October, so it is the month of Halloween. But you might be wondering, even though it's the month of October, how do people already know that they should be dressing up in costume? Is there some kind of way to get an idea of what's happening on the cruise before? And the answer is actually yes. Royal Caribbean has been sending out emails for a lot of their cruises, for just about every one that I've been on recently, where they have a list of all the events ahead of time, so you know what themes to dress up. And so they did mention that Halloween was going to be a thing, so bring a costume. And so I think it's really cool because I do remember I took a Halloween cruise a couple years ago on Royal. They did not announce that they were doing anything, so not that many people did dress up. Well, it wasn't on Halloween. It was during the month of October. I think it was just before Halloween. So no one really knew to dress up, and it was kind of unfortunate. But this cruise seems like there's a good amount of people, and that's kind of exciting. So they actually have a schedule for all the major theme parties throughout the rest of the voyage, and we'll get to those when we get there. But keep an eye on the emails, or you can check the Royal Caribbean app. They actually had our entire itinerary, like all the activities scheduled, maybe a couple weeks ago before the cruise. So yeah. That's kind of cool. They're walking away. I forgot to grab them, but the creeper costume, they interrupted, said hi, they watched the channel. It's really cool. I need to get better about putting people on camera, but thank you guys for watching the videos, and you made it in there, barely. Without permission though, I'm sorry, maybe you didn't want to be there. That's why I caught the back. Cool creeper costume, by the way. But I guess we're just gonna stick around and watch the parade of people dressing up, which is kind of cool.
Say Gryffindor, Alexander who's a Gryffindor, everybody. Followed by Jason the dinosaur. I'm one of my group. As Minecraft.
That was the costume parade. They're sending some people. It's a bit of a mess, but here I was singing praises about Royal Caribbean. Here I'm going to bash on them for planning this right about now where I have a show scheduled. The thing is, we have to make reservations for some of the shows, specifically the ones in 270. Starwater, which we're on our way to go see right now. That show you have to make a reservation for, or else it's really hard to get in on standby. But the thing is you don't actually get to know what's happening on the ship when you book the reservation for the show, so you have to go in blind. And so we got to see a couple minutes of it, but now we have to go run over. They're doing some more stuff, a Halloween bash over, a music hall and stuff like that. It's not a Halloween cruise. It's not a Halloween themed video, at least. It's just about Quantum of the Seas. So yay on the letting us know about the events, boo on the reservation for shows. But it is what it is. So welcome back to the 270 lounge. It was a beautiful glass floor-to-ceiling window back here, but now we have projections. It's going to be a cool show. Welcome to Starwater.
Strike the pose.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for the amazing cast of Star Water.
Alrighty, we just got out of 270 for Star Water, and what is there to say about that show? I didn't fully remember this show. I saw it about 2 years ago, and I don't think I had positive reactions back then, and certainly I don't think I have them now, unfortunately. This was the original 270 show, so this was the first show they created for that venue, brand new on the Quantum class way back when, and so technologically it showcased some really awesome things, and I think over the years they definitely got a lot better at using the space. I try to go off of crowd reaction because sometimes my opinions are just not what everyone else thinks, but I didn't hear the energy that I really expected. For the first 10 minutes of the show, maybe even longer, it has this really weird sequence where they're kind of walking around and they're dancing and they're kind of doing this interesting artsy sequence. And at first it was great, but then they did it 5 more times and then it got boring. I'd say the rule of 3s works great. 5 is too many. I think everyone really enjoyed it the first time around and was really kind of captivated by it, but then the longer it went on, it just, yeah. And also there's no story that correlates throughout the entire show. It's just from one song to the next, and I don't really know how it connects. It really actually doesn't connect. I don't know, it's not my favorite show. The 270 venue is an interesting venue. It's unique, it's different, and they could do so much with it, but I feel like it's just wasted with this show. I want to say that at one point, this ship had Mamma Mia originally in the Royal Theater, and that show is no longer on board this ship. And somehow that show's still there. Hey, I just want to interject on myself. I was being really negative about this show. There are some positives. The singers and dancers, they are amazing. The cast brings the energy. They have so much talent. You can tell they really care about what they do. The singers are phenomenal. They're hitting notes. I can't sing, so honestly, anything is better than I can do. That is a really cool part. They have some cool effects that definitely, especially with that dress part, that looked really cool. I mean, in person, it was phenomenal. Some of it was actually really amazing and breathtaking. However, just with no storyline, it just kind of goes from thing to thing to thing. There's really nothing that connects all of it together. It's really jarring, and that's really, I think, what's really holding me up on this show. All of my family did not like it. It just wasn't our favorite, and I'm not saying that I'm using them as, well, if they all say it, then I must be right. That's not really what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we didn't get it. I didn't get it. I never got it. My second time watching it, I still don't get it. But is it something worth a watch? Yes. Just come in with an open mind is really what I'm going to suggest. It's not as bad. It doesn't deserve to be bashed, especially none of the cast or the crew. They do amazing work. It's just, I think they could do so much better. I really do. At least Spectra's Cabaret, I didn't like that show too much, but at least it had some tying thing with it, with Spectra kind of going through her imagination. It kind of made some sense. This has nothing like that that ties it all together. I mean, it would help. At least I could say something positive. Sorry, I had to interject. I just felt like I was really bashing. I don't mean to. Back to what we're doing next. Alrighty, so we've come back up to C-Plex for laser tag, and I really can't take a camera in there, so Dad's gonna try and see if he can snipe some things. I don't know. We'll see. Like I said earlier, though, one moment it's bumper cars, the next it's laser tag. That's cool that they can just blow it up and set it up in here.
I don't have a mic on, so it doesn't matter.
Alrighty, we're out of laser tag, and that was a lot of fun. Me and my sister got to play. My dad was recording from above. I do kind of like that the overlook has it. Some of the other ships, there's no like spectators. So yeah, pretty cool. Lots of fun. I think I was doing really good, actually. My score was 4,000. I had couldn't really read the board. It was really tough to see. They need to upgrade that screen. I'm pretty good at laser tag. Don't mess with me. Let me just say that. But I want to give you a heads up. If you want to play laser tag, it is free. You just have to find it on the schedule and you have to make a reservation. They do time slots about every 20-ish minutes, I think. So hop on the reservation, hop on the app as soon as you get aboard and make the reservation. When I was talking about earlier, the iFly, same thing. Make the reservation ahead of time, but definitely worth it for sure. About 20 minutes, you need to wear closed-toed shoes and all that stuff. No waiver required, nothing. You just show up, you watch a video, and then you play. Pretty cool stuff. Laser tag, thumbs up. Whew. But we came all the way to the back of the ship because total pitch black darkness. I love that. But yeah, I guess that brings us to the end of the video. Boarding day was a success at the end of the day. Lots of fun. We did a lot. Also, we didn't do a lot. There's still so much more that this ship has to offer that we did not get to all over the next few days aboard this ship. I'm super excited. There's a lot to talk about and a lot to showcase. We'll do a full ship tour coming up soon. But yes, Quantum of the Seas here in Los Angeles. I'm excited for its season here. I am so grateful that we have a beautiful ship with so much fun activities. It's built perfect for this winter season. I think we're gonna stop it right here though. Thank you so much for watching today's video. As always, this isn't a goodbye though. It's just a see ya real soon.